Hello, good morning. This is the teaching profession RVL2, and we've tackled about the different dimension of teaching professions and the metaphor of teaching. So first, in the dimension of teaching is the why of teaching. So the close open parenthesis there is the entering on the profession. So why they need to ask that kind of question to the students who are entering that course, um, because um, they need to ask it if the student is really willing to enter that profession, or they are really passionate on that profession, or just entering the profession just to graduate and do such thing on their next life, on their future. So that's the essence of asking the why question in teaching. So next one is the who of teaching. The parenthesis there is the learners. So the very importance of teachers is the predetermine of the learners. So why? Because teachers will not exist without the learners, right? Because learners is very important to them. Like the teacher cannot teach their subject, their what do you call this one, their specialization on their profession without the learners. So that's the important, or the importance also of who in teaching. So next one is the when of teaching. So in here, the evolution of teachers are a teacher education in the Philippines is evolving profession. The teaching is an evolving profession rather. Yun, and nagbabago ang teaching, the way of teaching nila. Kung ano yung napapanahon, kung ano yung kailangan, yun ang kailang ituro sa mga estudyante. That is the when of teaching. So next one is the how of teaching. So the parenthesis there is the pedagogy of teachers. So the teachers become subject tactician, how do you call this one? Tacticians. If they have the rich repertoire of the teaching strategies. So a lot of way to approach of teaching is in accordance of teacher, dapat maging matalino dapat maging matalino yung teacher kung paano niya i-deliver yung subject niya, the way he or she adjusts the way of his teaching. So that is the pedagogy of teacher, or the how of teaching. So the fifth one is the what of teaching. The parenthesis there is the curriculum. The curriculum constitutes the educational content, goals are intended outcomes, as well as the competence to be taught and developed among the learners. So that is the what of teaching. In the what of teaching also, it depends on the curriculum. It are they need to follow, because they are creating teachers also creating course guides to implement their teaching strategies also. So that is the the what of teaching. The last one is the where of teaching. So the closed open parenthesis there is the field placement. So the place of teaching and learning is evolving also. And like for example, in the past years, let's say 2014, we are studying at the classroom, no, at the normal classroom, and now, compare the then and now, because if we compare today, really we are using mobile phone, we are meeting at Google Meet, and asynchronous meeting and synchronous meeting has been done, um, That is the evolving of the place where the teachers taught their subject. We can the teachers also can teach the different, sabi nga ni ma'am, do sa video lecture niya, even at home, even um, under the trees or under the papaya trees, like that. So that's all. That's the different dimensions of teaching profession. So now let's proceed about the metaphors of teaching. So what is metaphors? So metaphors makes a comparison between the unrelated things in order to show their resemblance. So that is the metaphor. So we have five the metaphor of teaching here, which is the teaching as an art. Second one is teaching as a science, and teaching as a craft. Fourth one is the teaching as a mission, and the last one is teaching as a vocation. So what I've learned on the two topics being shared by our professor is um, the different dimensions, the different dimensions which give us also knowledge on how we become a professional in the future. Why? Because we are being um, because nabigyan tayo ng knowledge to know what is being done in that profession. Like for example, the teaching profession, um, kailangan nagsisimula sa planning, which is also on asking yourself why do you need to enter this course, because you are passionate on this course and you are willing to become a teacher in the future. So that is what I've learned in the dimension of teaching. So what I've also learned in the metaphor of teaching is that uh, we have the different kind of way of teaching, and we have also different learners also have a different way of learning, and by that we could apply this different kind of teaching, like for example in art, in science, craft, or in the way of mission or vocation. So we can apply it in the future, because as we learn today's video lecture of our professor, we really get that idea in ours, and we can able to give back to the learners in the future. So that would be all. Thank you.